Good evening and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to our webinar on Agentic AI for re-engineering enterprise workflows. We are super delighted to have all of you with us. I'm Vinayak, your moderator for today's session. At the end of the webinar, we will have a Q&A session. So please have your questions ready. And also feel free to type the same on the chat box below. We will take it one by one. Today, we are diving into one of the biggest challenges enterprises are facing, that is, legacy systems slowing down innovation. With AI reshaping everything around us, modernization can't wait. And the game changer, Agentic AI. Yeah, it's turning years long modernization programs into fast, intelligent, low risk transformations. And in the next few minutes, we'll show you how AI accelerates discovery, development, testing, and deployment to make your applications future ready at scale. So let's jump straight in. By the way, we are very honored to be joined by two distinguished speakers today, Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan and Ms. Shraddha Dubey. So, talking about Lakshmi, Lakshmi is the head of data, AI, and Gen AI at ACL Digital. He is a strategic AI transformation leader with a proven track record of delivering over $20 million plus in digital value. He has led Gen AI driven automation, generating $22 million plus in savings with 40% turnaround improvement. And he is also a TEDx speaker and advisor to prestigious institutes like ISRO and IIMs. On the other hand, we have Shraddha Dubey. Shraddha is a technical architect, AI Gen AI at ACL Digital, with more than 11 years of expertise. So she specializes in designing scalable enterprise grade AI solutions, LLM based autonomous agents, and end to end implementation of AI in complex business environments, ensuring measurable ROI and quality. Can we move to the next slide, please? So, talking about the Alten Group, our parent company, the Alten Group, is headquartered in France and has 50,000 plus globally deployed employees. We have served upwards of 6,500 plus clients and are still counting. We have a global presence in 30 plus countries and have grossed a turnover of almost $4 billion last fiscal year. Next slide, please. Talking about ACL Digital. So ACL Digital is a 100% wholly owned subsidiary of the Alten Group. We have served the industry for over 3 decades and created a niche in almost every industry vertical out there. We have catered to Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 plus companies in digital commerce, health tech, med tech, retail tech, life sciences, telco and NEM, and edtech domains. Our customers are industry ISVs who cater further to the provider industry. So, with that, I would now like to invite Lakshmi to lead us into today's awesome session. Uh, Over to you, Lakshmi.
Thank you very much, Vinayak. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, depending on the time zones from where you have joined. So thank you for joining and taking your time to discuss this interesting topic. So the agenda is very simple for us today. So the agenda is to talk about how we can modernize the legacy applications with the latest AI, Gen AI, and Agentic AI solutions. So in line with that, first I would like to introduce the speaker along with me, Shraddha. Then we'll move on to today's reality, which is the modernization challenge, which most of the companies are going through, a common trend that we are seeing with our customers. That's the knowledge, that's the story that we would like to share today. And what is the role of AI? That's something we are going to discuss after that. And especially, can we use agentic AI, which is more of a knowledge agent in many areas? Today, we are able to create some action agents to modernize some of the legacy transformations. How can we go about it? We will talk about it. And then we'll also talk about how the software engineering area is changing rapidly. And AI powered software engineering is the topic of the day, the hyper-automated software development lifecycle process. With that, we'll also share a recommended approach how you can go about modernizing the legacy applications in the world of AI. And then we are open for questions. But throughout, I would always say that throughout, please use the Q&A forum and keep posting questions. Shraddha and me will be taking questions throughout the session. With that, I would request to move to the next slide, team. Yep. So what is the today's reality? Maybe I would like to start with a small poll before I get on to the one. Shraddha, if you can just, I think, this is good. I've just launched a poll. I hope you're able to see the poll. Just share your views. What is the biggest headache with your current legacy applications that you're going through? Is it the high maintenance cost? Or is it the tribal knowledge? Or is it the fear of breaking things? Or is it slow time to market for new features? If you find any other reason, just put it in comments. We would like to learn from you. We have put across based on our experience of dealing with the customers. But if you have something else bugging you, feel free to put it across in the chat. We would like to know from you what else is bugging our legacy modernization. But while you are answering this question, let me talk about a doomsday scenario which most of our customers share with us. The legacy domino collapse. That's the word one of the customers used it with me when he spoke about the challenge that he was facing with the legacy systems. He was talking about his core system, which failed on a Monday morning. The system, which only one person knew how to operate, he was the only person maintaining that application. And even that person regularly puts down the papers and gets around 30% hike every time he puts down the papers because there was so much dependency on him. And that was the challenge for the CAO I was talking to. No documentation, no backup of logic. No one can explain why a critical job failed. But when it fails, within hours, the customer transactions stop, service centers jam, revenue pipelines freeze, and everything collapses. It's like the Y2K problem we used to talk about earlier. The silent failure of this legacy application can cost millions to the enterprise. But of course, they do not explode dramatically, as I was telling you, as one of my customers was mentioning, but they decay silently, which you and me are very well aware of it. One unnoticed memory leak, or one outdated API, or even one unsupported library can cause a huge problem here. So that's where things become slightly nasty for our customers. I've seen some customers going with 6 hours of downtime with legacy application, millions in losses with one of the customers in US. And some have resulted in customer churn too, which usually takes for the enterprise to take months to recover actually. And obviously, I need not even talk about the complaints nightmare, which comes along with all these things. Just imagine a 30-year-old COBOL code written by someone no one remembers, and you can't explain why a calculation works, and suddenly it's causing a compliance issue. The entire organization is going to run behind you. Of course, it's 30 seconds to fame for you, no doubt, the person who developed it. But yeah, a big challenge for the enterprise.
And another thing that the reputation that the company loses, the enterprise, that is the biggest loss there.
Exactly. True. So I've just shared across the poll results. No wonder we are seeing some equal percentage poll for every option that we are given there. High maintenance cost, tribal knowledge, fear of breaking things, all of them have got equal representations here. So no doubt, that's exactly what we wanted to speak in our first slide. If we can move to the next one.
Sure.
The dual challenge of transformation. In fact, I would like to put it this way. Every organization is trying to move towards a strategic direction of moving to the next level, digital vision, digital transformation. All organizations have great ambitions and aspirations. But on the other side, we have a technical debt crisis that's coming because of the legacy tools like COBOL, legacy Java frameworks, mainframe dependencies. I'm sure it will not be a surprise to you when I tell you that Some of the financial services institutions are still using a lot of mainframe work. Of course, there is a strong dependency there. And all these monolithic architectures and tribal knowledge dependency is creating a huge challenge for the organization, which is pulling them back when they want to move towards a strategic need, the one which everyone aspires to move to. So what is the ambition for most of the organizations? So if we could just move forward, Shraddha, the strategic needs of the organizations are cloud native mandates, security, with so much of things happening around, security becomes an important aspect, compliance, agility and adaptability. All these are the strategic needs. It looks like two sides of the same coin, isn't it? But to achieve one, you need to have a strong base at the other side. But that is not happening today. That's where most of the organizations are struggling here. So let's understand more. So moving on, what is the opportunity for us here? When we talk about modernization, I'm sure all of us feel the need for modernization here, no doubt about it. In fact, I would like to ask one more question here. This is a very, very popular one, which just one second, I think, yeah. I'm just launching a poll. Let me know whether you're able to see this. Yep.
Yep.
We all have aspirations to move to the next level. Let's say, for example, you're getting X dollars to invest to move your organization to the next level. Where do you think the money is going now? Are you moving it towards AI, Gen AI, Agentic AI, or are you spending that money for managing your legacy applications? How much percentage of your IT budget is currently consumed by these legacy applications just to keep the lights on versus the real actual innovation which all of us are talking about in different forums? Nice. I'm getting some interesting responses here. If somebody wants to guess which one would be getting the highest percentage votes here, can you put it in the chat? Anyone? No money for guesses here. It's simple. 49% of the people feel that over 70% are stuck in the maintenance mode. That is, you're spending 70% of the IT budget just to manage your legacy applications to keep the things running. Okay, the softwares. Only few percent, I mean, 20-30% is going for strategic innovation, where we are talking about AI, Gen AI, analytics, infrastructure, and everything. Now, that's where the modernization mandate comes into picture. AI shifts modernization from manual multi-year efforts to intelligent accelerated transformation. We believe that AI can play a significant role for you in modernizing your legacy application, in ensuring that you have a strong foundation for your organization so that you can enable true digital transformation. You can achieve cloud native supremacy with microservices, containerization, everything that you aspire to have on the cloud, you can achieve it. And unlocking AI powered business outcomes. Gone are the days where AI is still the kind of a buzzword. Today, every organization has started using it. In fact, most of our customers are talking about KPIs for agentic AI implementation, and we are working with them to achieve those KPIs. And of course, the impact is really high when you start using AI for all these processes. 70-80% of the infrastructure cost is coming down when you're using AI for modernizing. 10x deployment frequency and 50% reduction in the MTTR. And 3 to 5x developer productivity is what we can achieve, or most of the organizations are achieving with this AI shift. Let's discuss more. We have more points to share. Shraddha, over to you. Why can't you talk about AI, the new accelerator for app modernization?
Thanks, Lakshmi. So at some point, we all have used agentic AI, not agentic AI, Gen AI and AI in our lives. My fellow developers would have used machine learning, AI, computer vision, and all. But since past 2-3 years, we have all of us at some capacity used Gen AI to either form a content for a webinar, to write an email, post post a blog, or anything for that matter, or even to create your own documentation. But now the game is changing slowly, especially in the application modernization. So far, what we have seen is a developer sitting in silo and trying to do a day-to-day work of debugging, creating a new piece of code. But when we are looking at application modernization at an enterprise level, it always it's moving away from Gen AI because it's very siloed and it depends individually on developers to developer. Now, it's shifting towards agentic AI, where now agents are doing a lot of heavy lifting. Now, you would think, why agentic AI? Why not Gen AI? Gen AI, while it does help you to do a certain task, but it does only what you have asked in that one reference. Agentic AI pursues a goal. You can set a goal, it will plan for towards that goal, executes that goal, monitors the progress as well as refines it if there is any error. So that's what is shifting. Now, imagine what all agentic AI can do. It can create a lot of autonomous decisions. That's one of the biggest value adds, because you don't have to every time go ahead and rework the prompt and keep on telling it. Imagine you have to get a work done from a 12 standard student, and every each and every step you have to keep telling them what to do next, what to do next. It is exhausting. At times you lose your patience. But at the same time, if you have a 4 or 5 years of experience engineer, you can just give them a task and they'll do it for you. That's what agentic AI and Gen AI differs here. Now, autonomous decision making is one of the key points. Then it does the orchestration as well. Now, you tell it to do this code from point A or a COBOL code into another language. It does the transformation for you. It analyzes, you identify the agents, a coding, a testing, an analysis, documentation, so on and so forth. It manages them. It checks their work. It refines it. Then it also does self-correcting. As I said, refinement is a process that you can include, and that adds a lot of difference in your development effort, in your modernization efforts as well. And last but not the least, the biggest advantage of agentic AI is you can plug a lot of these tools, these that are coming these days, from testing to a lot of testing development frameworks. So that makes half of your work available to you, half of your time available. So you can then focus more on the architecture and building something more nuanced than doing the mundane job of moving from one code to the other. Now, let's understand agentic AI across modernization lifecycle.
But I have a
Identify,
question here, Shraddha. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
While you're talking about agentic AI, I'm sure our folks will have this question running in their mind.
mm,
The legacy system, when we modernize, I think there are a lot of challenges that come in.
mm,
And I would broadly put it into four broad areas, like one is discovery, the
mm-hmm,
safety, the
yeah,
translation, that is how do you rewrite the code and everything, and then the
yes,
documentation, which is mostly missing for our legacy application. Now,
yes, yeah,
from our experience, we know where exactly the problem is when we are trying to modernize things.
yeah.
I just want to ask this question to our audience and think about what they feel. Where do you think they will face the challenge? So I'm just putting out one quick poll to understand what our audience are thinking. So when your team attempts to refactor the legacy code manually, where do you think your team is going to spend the most of the time? Is it in the discovery, just to try to figure out what the code actually does? Or is it a fear that is safety is a concern for you, where you have to write regression tests to ensure nothing breaks? In fact, when I was providing consulting earlier for one of the government companies, they used to tell me a thumb rule. If something works, don't touch
Don't
it.
worry. Yeah,
That's a thumb rule most of the organizations work on.
yeah,
So safety is one big net, and most of the companies do not want to move away from legacy because they do not want to break anything.
yeah,
Okay, so fragile the systems are when we talk about the agile world, unfortunately. Translation is another problem. Manually rewriting the syntax, like some of the solutions that we are developing, like PLC equal to Python, the kind of translations that we are doing, there is a fear that things may fail there.
mm,
And last but not least, documentation. Okay, so it's been a minute. I'm seeing some interesting responses here. 61% of the people are feeling that discovery is the place where
yeah,
they see that to be a big challenge. They spend most of the time. Absolutely right. You do not know what is there on the other side. You're going to dig it's literally data mining, isn't it? That you're going to do on the other side. You're going to mine the code, you're going to mine the document, you're going to mine the data, and you're going to break your head where exactly things are. That's the problem with the legacy one. And I'm sharing the results with everyone. I think this is exactly one of the problems. But the most underrated one is the documentation, which Shraddha was speaking about. Decoding the documentation and then figuring out what to do next in the new world with the old documents, which are non-updated. Yeah, back to you, Shraddha.
Thank
Please go ahead and share your story. Yes.
Yeah. So, right in line with what Lakshmi just said, there are what you have to fix. But the bigger challenge with these legacy systems is you do not know, they themselves do not know, and there's very little or non-existent documentation. There was a phrase, cowboys, and a lot of expert COBOL engineers, a majority of them, because the system is becoming so less frequently used, they're kind of riding off into the sunset, and then that's creates a lot of bottleneck for you when you're trying to migrate. So from discovery, code migration, testing, and documentation, all of it is definitely needed. So now, how and where AI can assist? Now think about discovery and assessment. Some of the key things that we always have to identify in discovery and assessment is, let's say, identify the architecture, right? Understand or recover the logical physical architecture, runtime topology. Then you have static code analysis, understand the language, the framework, dependency, what are the complexity metrics. Then identify what framework does it work on, identify the dead codes. All that is a lot of heavy work that AI takes it off of your hand. Then you have service decomposition. Now, in this, imagine a monolithic application or APIs and anything. Now, you have to first identify the context. What are the candidates for these services? Then define the REST or GraphQL contracts, request response schemas, error models, identify in terms of what kind of microservices architecture, if you're moving to microservices architecture, data decomposition strategies, identify the boundaries, and so on and so forth. That's like a lot of work. And majority of it gets taken care by machine. You can offload it to agentic AI. Then, obviously, the elephant in the room, who will do the code transformation. So, code transformation just does not happen one on one. Oftentimes, the syntax, the structure, the what do you say, the object type itself, the variable types, the engineers would understand that it basic building blocks of application, the programs change. I have to move something from Java to Python. They're two very different libraries, so somebody has to sit and know both things. Otherwise you have a huge team of expert who's doing it for you. Then comes, last but not the least, the testing and quality assurance part, that we always think, it's the easy peasy pass. No, that's the most difficult, that at an enterprise level, the most crucial part. You have to identify from older structures, what do you have, what is this unit testing pieces, integration tests, you have to identify from them, replicate, so that you maintain 100% functional parity between older system and newer system. Then identify the contracts. Then there's always a new concept about human in the loop. Now, then you have to check production readiness in terms of error, bugs, and then reporting of all these issues and rollback playbooks and all these things. So these are some of the things that comes on top of my mind when I think about modernization, and this is where agentic AI can help you in all these broad figures.
Excellent.
Um,
Good, Shraddha. Good
yeah.
points. So maybe I would like to understand one point, which I would like to pose it as a question before we can share our reviews from our experience. Team, where do you think we'll use human in the loop? Where do you think there'll be more humans coming into picture? Is it in the discovery phase, code transformation, service decomposition, or testing? Having done few projects around, we have a view. but we would like to know your point of view. Would you like to put it in the, I mean, you can just respond to the host in the chat. I know the chat is disabled, but you can just put it across to the host and panelists. What do you think are your views? Where do you think the humans are going to play a big role? By the way, do we need humans? Or you think that AI can do everything? Good. So I'm seeing some responses coming up. Yep. So AI definitely cannot be independent. So we are slowly moving to augmented intelligence over the last few years. Co-worker, co-pilot. That's the way the world is thinking now. We cannot ignore the human. Of course, that plays a role, no doubt. Yes, as you rightly pointed out. And here, I would like to launch a small poll to get your views because I know some of our customers, when we started engaging with them on legacy modernization, they started with a point of view, and then by the end of the engagement, their views about agentic AI completely changed. I would like to know what your views are before we share our experience. I've just launched a poll. I hope you're able to see that. To what extent are you ready to let an AI agent modify your production code? Will you trust it? Zero trust, or copilot mode, or agentic mode, or full autonomy? What do you think will be the role of AI? Okay, interesting responses.
I think the responses would differ based on what role they're playing. A
I
developer
agree.
would probably have very low trust versus at an enterprise level. A product manager would be like, yeah, I think most of it has can be taken care. It'd be interesting to see.
But I'm more keen on what is the view the project sponsors would like.
Yeah.
So developers definitely will always have a mindset like, okay, because they do develop, they understand how the agents work. So definitely, as you rightly pointed out, the perspective would be different. But when we are talking about the leadership, their view about AI is very, very different at the beginning of the project. So maybe that's where I would like to end the poll. I would like to share the results to make all of you see where we stand. This is something that's coming from you. 62% of the people believe Copilot mode is the best. That is augmented intelligence, what we call it as. So AI writes the code, a human reviews every line. But yeah, I would say that you need not review every line, but there are ways we can automate them. We can do a bit of testing, a good testing to ensure that agents can still do more work, no doubt. But yeah, I'm very happy to see almost like 85% have voted for more AI involvement, the second and third option together, if you noticed, Shraddha. So
Yeah.
that's a big change that we are seeing now. In fact, just to share my point of view before Shraddha moves ahead. So when we start the project, so most of the engagements, the legacy modernization, which we started discussing a few months back, the customers started having this view that AI is a magic wand. It can do everything automatically. It's like you feed the legacy application on this side, input, AI will process like a black box, and then will give you the new application, the microservices architecture, and every modern application that you can aspire to have. That's how the customer started thinking or started the engagement with. But slowly over a period of time, with all the challenges that we spoke about, people realized that AI is not a magic wand. But definitely, yes, they realized the importance of AI in the entire life cycle, where they understood that using it in co-pilot mode and agentic mode improves their productivity to a greater extent. Instead of spending 6 to 8 months to do a re-engineering project, they realized that maybe they can do it faster. 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, depending on the complexity of the project, they were able to improve the productivity to a greater extent, reduce the overall time to market for implementing these solutions. So that's a big change that we noticed, and the customers shared it with us as a testimony where they understood that okay, this is how the world is so rosy outside, the way things are being claimed, but when we use it, yes, absolutely, the magic is there, but with a pinch of salt, they're able to understand the importance of human in the loop. So what we would like to iterate is bring the right human in the loop while we are using agent. That will ensure successful engagements. While agents can do a lot of work, a right SME at every stage would do the real magic for you to modernize the entire legacy application with AI. Back to you, Shraddha, please.
Thank you. Moving on to the points of what Lakshmi said. What do we gain when we use agentic AI? One of the three important pillars of any migration is how fast you could do, and what is the cost associated with this migration, and what are the risks involved. In all these three categories, we see that agent it definitely reduces the time to market or the production cycle of your applications or the modernization by 60 to 70%, because then the 30 to development and reiterations of yourself. So mostly what Lakshmi said, human in the loop, then what the ratio also reduces, and hence you have faster, your cost efficiency increases there. So manual effort goes down, dependency on the SMEs also go down, where one side in a traditional approach, you would have 5 to 6 SMEs, juniors and seniors and leads sitting together and trying to decipher and transform the code. Now you just need two of them, both sitting on the either side. One starts and the other one just validates and move on. That is also, I would call it an overkill, but you can still get away with one SME along with an agent. Then the risk, obviously, rapid technology modernization is what is pushing us towards agentic AI. Modernization is required, it is needed. We cannot continue to live in isolation where if something works, let's not touch it, let's not break it, because the world is moving forward. In the world of satellite, and we are planning to go to Mars, we can't still be using those dial-up phones, right? There's the same, something similar for applications as well. You've got to go up, scale up, provide something better to your end customers. So with that, I would move on to some of the success stories that we have done, but I'll give the floor to Lakshmi if he has anything to add.
No, I'm good here, Shraddha. So I think we are on track. And we have got some interesting questions also in the Q&A. So we would like to take it right after this. Yeah, please.
Okay. So I would like to share a few success stories that we have done. So one of the success story that I want to share with you was to migrate a COBOL PeopleSoft application with the help of GenAI into a modern set of technology. Now, the challenge here was the existing code base was complex. It has mainframe coding, it has some bolt-on application that was built not within 4 or 5 years, it was built about 10 years. It's an iterative process, and people who built it are no longer with the system. Throughout the software development lifecycle, things have been done and redone so many times that people have lost the count or the track of features, functionalities. Whatever is there, what you can see is that's it. But the client has this expectation that they wanted to move and work with something newer technology that they can integrate further and either provide a faster interfaces, better user experience with something AI, because AI is the new thing and it is the next thing. All this while ensuring 100% functional parity, no changes in their existing features or functionalities. So we understand and we proposed an agentic AI system where, again, because it's a holistic system, everything has to be understood, everything has to be migrated. So now the approach was to create this three things: AI powered discovery, development, and verification, with human in the loop at each stage. Why at each stage, I would say, is because all of this is a mix of multiple languages at multiple. So you have UI, you have backend, you have data, and all of this works and talks to PeopleSoft front end with another bolt-on application. Hence, it's a pretty complex system, and each and every stage needs this SME that we were talking, the right SMEs at the right places, so they can validate before you go ahead to the next level. So, let's say you pick up a code base about mainframe, from mainframe, how it works. Take that, it goes to the first agent. It understands what the code does with whatever document that you have available. You plug it or provide a few much written context. It generates the code, then you validate again. If first is the understanding of AI correct, and the migrated code, let's say you create a Python or a Java code out of it, is that better? Is that understandable or working? And then you go for testing, create test cases, automation test cases, and all. So that was the approach, and it worked well. What did we gain out of it? We did give them 100% functional parity with the minimized risk in the change management. We obviously, because of agentic AI, this project, which could take very well 1.5 years, could be done 40% in lesser time via AI automation. We had successfully migrated the code in newer features, and with additional features with Gen AI. So that's that. Lakshmi, I'll move on to the next one.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Since it's time. A similar challenge of transforming just the APIs. Now, this is slightly different than the previous challenge because previously you had the entire system up to for you to read, understand, and transform. So you had the freedom to work and understand the entire ecosystem. This is very limited, where you have just the enterprise service bus that you have to migrate, just the APIs. You at times do not know which systems are using these APIs, where and how the output or the messages of these APIs are consumed. You do not know a lot of ecosystem. Data privacy is there because what data gets transferred, you do not have access to. So you really cannot do a lot of understanding with real data. We all know that now this was an IBM ESP service bus that the client wanted to move on to Spring Boot microservices, but keeping it the same SOAP service. Now, the challenge was obviously what I explained with you go with two blinders on. You don't know much left or right, just you have what you have and you migrate it. Pretty much just that's it. And the mandate was again 100% functional parity and into a newer out. So here the approach was slightly different because what you have to do, what we did is we picked up all the relevant files that is needed for an API to function. WSDL files, schemas, business documentation, whatever was available. And mind you, all these APIs were different. Some of the APIs that were built like 10, 12 years ago, they were all monolithic APIs. Some of them in between were kind of microservices, but not truly. And the more recent ones were following a pseudo microservices architecture. So it's a mixed bag of things. Developer to developer, things were changing. So that's where we put this layer of an orchestrator with 5 different agents. Each agent will perform an individual task and report back to the orchestrator. Orchestrator decides whether this is good to proceed further or not. So they would basically function sequentially, but reporting each and every time to the orchestrator. That's where the orchestrator had more power and overview on that. Once the transformation is done, then we had 3 sets of human in the loop. So let the AI do what it is doing. Then you sit and understand. An AI architect reviews the architecture of microservices. What are the service boundaries? Does it match, correlate with all those things? A developer who reviews more on the coding best practices, the vulnerabilities and stuff. Then you have QA that ensures the functional parity is there and performance and everything is as is. Or if it has not improved, it shouldn't go down. Yes, Lakshmi.
The quick time check. It's 10:15.
Cool. So that's it. And that's how we gave to our two of our clients solution to two of their most challenging tasks, because both of these could take years to do, but we did it in almost half the time for them.
So the end outcome is faster migration, faster transformation, and reduced risk of disruption. Okay. So quickly moving on. So with the kind of experience that we have got, we just wanted to share a kind of a phased approach as a recommendation for you. If you are thinking about legacy modernization using AI, our suggestion would be, as a typical consultant, we would recommend you to go for a pilot. First, do an assessment. Assess what are the applications that you have got in the legacy portfolio. Do a quick assessment and identify 2 to 3 legacy applications where AI can play a role. Okay. You need to understand the kind of documentation knowledge base that you have got, make an assessment with that, and then move on to a pilot where use AI, take a piece of code. I mean, what is that complexity and everything will determine what is the pilot that you have to put in. That's where a bit of experience would always help you to identify the right pilot scope. And once you have proved it that yes, we are able to migrate it. By the way, I'm consciously using the word pilot here because some of our customers have done POCs on their own. Thanks to vibe coding, which is a very popular term today, they tried their own POCs with respect to how they can migrate it. POCs are 200% successful, no doubt. But when you start developing it as an enterprise-wide application, that's where the real challenge is. Because when you do a POC, you don't understand what kind of technical depth, architecture, and everything. You don't think from the enterprise point of view. You just take a piece of code from the legacy one, like COBOL, for example, or take a kind of a simple legacy application, PL SQL, and then convert it to the new one. It may not throw you a lot of challenges because in a week's time, that's exactly what you can do, and you would have done that. And yes, we declare success there. But the problem is when we move on to the enterprise grade, that's where you start seeing challenges like scalability becomes a problem, bringing everything together and stitching the fabric is a challenge. So all these come into picture. That's why we are consciously calling the word pilot here. Do a pilot with one application, do it end to end, do the regression testing, ensure that everything is migrated successfully because you have to prove the viability, speed, and the quality of the AI driven approach with an application. That's what is the goal for the pilot. Then we move on to the last one. That's where you try to scale up and replicate for the entire portfolio. When you have understood that how it works with the lessons and everything from the pilot, because every enterprise problem is unique, what model will work for you? Everything has to be decided as part of your journey. So once you have got the picture right, then scale it up and replicate, modernize the entire legacy portfolio easily. You can develop a comprehensive risk mitigated plan for a full scale migration as the next step. This is how we believe that you can move from assessment to pilot to the enterprise scale and ensure that your legacy applications are completely transformed to modern day architecture, and nothing is going to stop you from achieving your digital and business vision when you do this. Great. So Shraddha, anything to add before we move on to Q&A?
No, I think you covered it all. We have got a bunch of questions. Let's move on.
Perfect.
Cool. A lot of questions are around. Let me summarize a few of them. So Ramesh says that how enterprises are seeking autonomy when actions are performed by agents. Do you feel there is a need for human in the loop always, or how do you approach this? So, Ramesh, to answer this, yes, definitely human in the loop is the key here, and you are going in the right direction as to enterprises. Any AI agent at the moment uh, cannot just run autonomously throughout. Human in the loop, and as well as the SME and a tester, all that factors in. So not just human saying yes, it is good, and next. If possible, add a few more experts from various point of views, that will increase the efficiency. Lakshmi, would you like to add anything?
Yes, only one thing I'd like to add from my experience. My ex-boss used to say this, Lakshmi, enterprises never want autopilot. They just need automation. They just want to solve their business problem with the technology. So in the name of achieving autopilot or autonomous intelligence, let's not kill the automation in between. Let's not create the architecture technical debt that may arise by using agent AI everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's the only input I'd like to give you. Human in the loop should be there, not just for clicking the button. Okay, something more definitely there.
Yeah, that was
Yep,
another question, that what kind of technical debt would we incur if we keep on using agentic AI and co-pilots? So the biggest debt that you can get if you do not have human in the loop is a code that and again nobody can understand and work with. So that's a challenge though. So technical debt, if it is unsupervised, is huge. But if
exactly.
it is supervised and properly documented, again, with the help of AI and verification, that's not a challenge. That's not a technical debt, that will become an asset.
True. In fact, I would say that AI can write cleaner code than a human. No doubt about it. There is no confusion there. But can it create one of the best architectures for your problem? Can it think like a human, like an enterprise architect, and then solve the problem? May not be. If your architecture is messy in your application, in your enterprise, AI is only going to complicate it with more and more clean code added to that mess. Okay. So great. There is a famous saying like good strategy plus good execution is equal to success. Okay. But a bad strategy plus great execution is a disaster. So agentic AI will become a disaster when you start using it this way. So you need to be double careful, bring the right agent in the loop, right human in the loop.
Okay.
Yep.
Sriram asks, what are the most practical and low hanging fruits or opportunities for an organization to start implementing AI or agentic AI into?
Okay, that's a good question, Sriram. So simple. Most of the times when we pick up the solutions, it's always like high volume, low risk, high impact. That's a combination that we generally try to do it. That's what we call it as a low hanging opportunity. And generally, the first agentic AI solution, which most of the organizations try to adopt, is the knowledge assistance. Okay, can I put a bot on top of the SharePoint, on top of the knowledge base that I've got? Can it help me to extract all the knowledge that I've got? And then, basis that, can it respond? Knowledge agent is the first intervention that most of the organizations try to do. The next step is creating the agentic workflows with orchestrators and everything. So my suggestion is go for small agents to begin with, which is low risk, which is high ROI. I think that's where your journey should begin.
Yeah. Thank you. There's one specific question specifically for you. It says, uh, can you please share your understanding of AI transformation in automotive industry? And this is somehow for his own benefit. He's Murgeshan, who's asking this question.
Okay. So, Murugesan, I'll put it this way. So, automotive industry itself is changing very rapidly. We always talk about this, right? So, Tesla, it's a tech company which is making cars today. The digital transformation, the classic example is in the automobile space is Tesla. The entire industry is changing rapidly, no doubt about it. And in fact, if I have to be honest with you, there are a lot of parallel revolutions that are happening in the automotive space. On one side, we are having this autonomous vehicles that is completely driven by softwares. Then you have manufacturing and industrial automation that is happening on that side. In all these places, I would say that AI is playing a role. Without AI, you can't think of a driverless car. Without AI, you can't think of a cobot completely controlled by AI. When we talk about connected mobility, data driven or AI transformation is something that we cannot ignore there. So in all these places, I see a strong role of AI. AI transforming the entire automotive space, creating some wonderful magic, which has been happening over the last 10 years, and it's only going to continue. And in fact, of all the manufacturing sectors, I would say automotive is the one which is leading the race in a way, at least from my point of view. We are seeing a lot of changes happening there, and it's only going to become more and more better.
Thank you. Another very interesting question. What are the pitfalls that one should keep in mind when working with application modernization with agentic AI?
Okay, yeah, please, you go ahead with your views, Shraddha.
Okay. So, as we have been saying in this entire session, first is do not go with the blank assumption that it's a black box, it's a magic wand that can do anything and everything. So, a human supervision is definitely needed. Second is always look for security guardrails, because when you are using agentic AI, there can be a lot of hallucinations, a lot of bleeding of contexts. That's something that you have to be aware if you're using agentic AI to build something like this. Um, then another thing that you have to guide agentic AI themselves, right? As Lakshmi said, it's like a person who knows a lot of things, but you have to guide it in the right directions to do a certain job. So the more clearly you decide, give it instructions, the better job it does. So try to be as clear and as descriptive in your tasks. So I think these are the bigger areas where if you don't pay attention, there is high likelihood that the solution may not turn out as you expected.
True. Just to add a point, security risk is definitely there whenever we talk about autonomous AI agents. Don't give too much autonomy to the AI agents because it might result in some irrelevant API calls or unnecessary API calls. If you're given too much power, it can deploy things without your knowledge. Some financial transactions can happen depending on the applications. These are the reasons why we generally prefer human in the loop, especially on the execution front, so that you can avoid any kind of service outages, any corrupted data that can be fed in. All these things can be avoided by bringing human in the loop. Security is a risk. Please take care of it when you're dealing with agents. Yep.
Okay. On the same lines, what strategies or deployment options do you recommend to ensure agentic AI can be adopted securely when code and sensitive data must retain inside enterprise network? So there are two approaches to do this. Strategic, when you are doing the development and deployment. Yeah. So with agentic AI, now there's a newer shift that is coming is you create your whatever code transformation that you have. One is try to have your either a privately hosted LLM or on a cloud provider with enterprise grade security around it. And the second layer of security that you can give is whatever code that is generated that works in a sandbox. If you just take the code, transform it, and run it in real time in your actual dev environments, there are higher chances that things could go wrong. Anything that could go wrong would go wrong. So I would say before you actually put the code out on your Git libraries or share with your teammates, agents should work first in their sandbox. You see the performance, and hence you will be able to control it. Anything that goes wrong just stays there. So you're providing data security, as well as the code security, that if something is getting missed, only the sandbox gets destroyed, nothing else around. So it saves you double layered. Anything, Lakshmi, you would like to add?
No, no, I'm good there. So, since we speak about deployment options also, on-prem as well as the private cloud hosted options are also available always when we talk about
Yeah.
such deployments. So, depending on the kind of data security importance that you have in your enterprise and also the regulations, depending on the industry that you're working in, we can choose any one of these deployment options for the solution.
Another interesting question is what criteria should guide the decision between building, buying, or borrowing agentic AI capabilities?
Good question. I'm just wondering, Sriram, is
Yes,
somebody renting
yes.
out agents?
Is this is an agent?
I think we have a chatbot in the name of Sriram asking questions, but yeah, on a lighter note. But Sriram, good question. So when we talk about building, buying, or borrowing, a typical make or buy decision only. Uh, when you want to have the complete control of everything in your own system, you build it from the scratch. You develop your own agentic AI framework. You have your own tools. You build your models internally, and then obviously, if the workflows that you're building are very very niche or very unique to your company, then you can do that. But you will buy when you want to achieve that speed and scale in a very short time. Okay, where More than the custom IP that you want to build, you want to go for an application which can be bought faster because I want to get my outcomes faster. Okay. Then you can go for commercial agentic AI platforms and then you start plugging those bots here. Pre-built automations, you can use it across and then develop it. So, like for example, one of our customers approached for L1 customer support. Is there any agent that can be built on it? Okay. So again, this was a debate. Why can't we use something from the market, which is a plug and play? What is the unique benefit that we are going to get by using your solution? This was a question posed to us. Okay. So when we provide a solution, we consciously say that there's something which is uniquely available for you in your system. The data lies with you. Nothing is going out of your ecosystem. But when you're using a third-party product as such, unless it is on cloud, I mean on your prem, or in a private cloud, unless the company guarantees it, many a times it is sitting in public cloud. So these are some of the considerations you need to keep in mind, Sriram, while taking these decisions. Okay. Yep. Thanks, Sriram, for asking. Yeah.
I will take the last question on a lighter note. Where did it go? 1 second. Okay. Do you see human intelligence marketed after 30 years? Like everyone is marketing AI right now. Would it be reverse Uno 30 years from now?
Ladies first.
I do see that human intelligence is not going outdated. It's just going to get you will move on to human intelligence will move on to do better things, smarter things rather than I wouldn't call them mundane, but as of now, our capabilities are limited because of our time and the capacity to do certain tasks in certain set of time. When you outsource, like the factory floors, to make a set of garment, you used to do it by hand before the industrialization era. Now everything's faster. So humans moved on to create more beautiful garments or more kinds of garments. The garment industry exploded. I think similar things would happen. AI is not going out of the picture. It is here to stay. So are humans. We will be as relevant as we are back, even 30 years, 50 years from now.
Perfect. So I know some of the questions we are not able to answer it now in the interest of time. So, but we would love to answer these questions. Just drop us a note. Maybe Vinayak, I hope we have a coordinate which we can share with them for them
Yes,
to communicate with us. Yes.
we can definitely do that, Lakshmi. Well, thank you so much, Lakshmi and Shraddha. It was fantastic. And thanks again for sharing such valuable insights and knowledge. Thank you to all participants as well for joining us today and making this webinar successful. We really appreciate your time and engagement, and we look forward to hosting you again in our future sessions. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Vinayak. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.